Today we're making halal chicken egg rolls with chicken from MidamarHalal.com. We won't need a full 2 pounds of chicken for this, so I cut mine in half once, then I sliced it horizontally to make 2 thin fillets. One of my portions of chicken was still a little too thick, so I sliced it one more time. I found cooking these this way made sure that the chicken didn't get too dry while frying. Next, I whipped up a simple marinade with a 1/4 teaspoon of rice vinegar mixed with 1 teaspoon of water, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of pepper, and a little bit of Chinese 5-spice. Pour that in with your meat and massage that until the chicken has absorbed most of the marinade. This should take about a minute or 2. And while I massage this marinade into this chicken, why don't you hit like and subscribe so you never miss out on one of our great halal recipes. We put out a new one every Friday. Next, we'll prepare our veggies by grating 2 large carrots on the big side of a box grater. This doesn't take nearly as long as you might think. You could use pre-shredded carrots, but those will take longer to cook. We also shredded some ginger. This worked out okay, but pre-made ginger paste would work a little better, but it won't be as strong. Then I sliced up a green onion, or grony as we call them in the studio. Make sure to include some of the white part of the onion when preparing this. My knife got a little stuck on this cabbage, but after some persuasion, I was able to quarter it. Trim the root end without fully removing it, then slicing it in half one more time before cutting it nice and thin. When I was growing up, I didn't really like cabbage all that much, but now that I've gotten older and I've tried it in a bunch of different recipes, I found that I actually really do like it. I just didn't eat it in the right instances. Once I had that all cut up, I set it aside for now. I've discovered that peanut oil might be one of my favorite types of oil. The smell isn't nearly as strong as vegetable or canola, and the taste is really subtle as well. It's an allergen though, so make sure whoever you're serving it to isn't allergic to peanuts before you cook up a whole meal with it. We'll cook the chicken until each side is slightly golden brown and the internal temperature hits 165. The chicken should be good and juicy because of the marinade that we soaked it in. Place that on a cutting board and let it rest while we prepare to cook our veggies. Start by reducing the heat to medium-low and add another tablespoon of oil to the pan. Then we'll cook up the garlic, ginger, and green onion until fragrant. This should only take 30 seconds to a minute, but make sure to stir the whole time so nothing burns to the bottom. Once it's smelling good, add in the carrots and cabbage. We want to stir fry this until the cabbage is softened. Reduce the heat a little bit to let the veggies slowly cook, then cut the chicken into bite-sized pieces. Mine were about an inch or so, but I like to have large pieces of chicken in my egg rolls. You could cut them smaller if you prefer less pronounced pieces of chicken. Now we'll season the filling with 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, another pinch of 5-spice, and salt and pepper to taste. That may not seem like a lot of seasoning for this amount of filling, but a little bit goes a long way in this. That said, if you like your seasoning strong, I'd probably use 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce and a teaspoon of 5-spice at the most. Finally, we're at the most fun stage of the whole thing, the wrapping. We'll need a basting brush and a small bowl of water for this. I laid out 1 egg roll wrapper and placed 2 spoonfuls of filling into a thin line in the center of the wrapper. Then I rotated the wrapper so it was diamond shaped, brushed some of the water onto the top edge of the wrapper and pulled the bottommost corner to the top. Make sure you push out as much air as possible before tightly sealing the egg roll. This helps prevent them from unraveling while they fry. Next, paint on a little more water under the edges of the inside of the wrapper and pull both ends as close to the middle as possible and press to seal. Now comes the final fry, the deepest of fry even. We'll heat up our oil to 300 degrees and fry the egg rolls in batches, being sure not to overcrowd the pot. I've found that as most things cool, the color deepens and the look in the pot can be a little deceptive. If it's lightly golden, it'll get a little darker, but if it's very dark, it might look almost burned once removed, so be careful of that. We'll give those a flip and let them fry for an additional 30 seconds to a minute or until they're lightly golden brown. Then we'll remove them to a wire rack and let them cool for a few minutes before serving. And that's it. These go great with halal beef and broccoli or General Tso's chicken. You can find those recipes in our Halal Asian Inspired Meals playlist. We'll see you next week with another great halal recipe.